So while ever we just simply try to break these patterns with conscious thoughts, you've got to remember that, you're like, your unconscious mind is a little bit like David versus Goliath, in that David is this teeny tiny little singular dot and Goliath is that entire big black wall in terms of power. Now, the magic to all of this, though, is the unconscious mind follows the instructions of the conscious mind. So, this is why your awareness of your thoughts when you are triggered emotionally, whether that's because of things that have happened with your kids, or whether it's just because you're stuck in the whole what if scenario of the future, so you're starting to foreshadow things that may or may not even happen, or whether you're dwelling on the things that have happened in the past and that's making you feel sad and down and gloomy. Doesn't matter what the external trigger is, the internal space can change through a conscious thought. How do we do that, Brie? Firstly, it's about becoming aware of what our triggers are. Now, our triggers are anything outside of our control. Okay, for most of you in this challenge and in this group, you are mums. So, one of the most significant triggers that you are going to have in your life are your children. When they behave poorly, when they make choices that you don't agree with, when they embarrass you, when they say something to you, their behavior, their choices trigger an internal reaction inside of you. You may also be triggered by other family members, your partner, your in-laws, your parents, your siblings, co-workers. We can be triggered by driving down the street and someone cuts off in front of you. Okay, so a trigger, very simply put, is anything outside of you that causes an internal response from you. And when we become aware of our triggers, now, really powerful here is to become aware of the repetitive triggers. Okay, and again, this is why kids trigger us so much, because we are with them all of the time. Not all the time, but we think about them a lot of the time. We care about them. Our focus is on them. So when our focus is on the very thing that triggers us, we of course lose sight of the control that we have within us. And that's why you're here right now, right? Because you've put so much focus on external things that are triggering you, you have forgotten to tune into you and you've lost that awareness of self. So, developing the awareness of self is the first critical point. And that is something that you do consciously have to become aware of, because you can't change an unconscious pattern until you become consciously aware of it. So, how are we going to do that? Firstly, whenever you start to spiral, whether it's spiral upward with a big emotion or spiral inward with a negative thought pattern that continues to develop and fester, the first thing to do is to stop yourself and become aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking, and what you're feeling. So, what am I doing right now? I'm overthinking their behavior. I'm dwelling on the past. I'm foreshadowing the future. What am I doing? I am. The I am is responsibility. Okay, so it's not doing the they are doing this to me, which is blaming. Remember, when we talked about blaming earlier through the challenge, blaming is putting all of the onus on them and taking no responsibility for self. Becoming aware is about creating a connection to your responsibility, to your actions, and what you're going to do with it. So, step number one: what am I doing right now that is not necessarily creating the trigger, but it's fueling the trigger? What am I doing? What am I thinking? The what am I thinking starts to put your focus back in you. So I'm thinking blah 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 blah. I'm thinking I'm thinking that he should know better. I'm thinking that he shouldn't do that. I'm thinking that they blah blah. So when you become aware of the thinking, if it is all about them, then again, that is a recognition point of I am totally focusing on them right now and I am blaming them. So, what am I thinking about me? I'm thinking I'm out of control. I'm thinking I can't handle this. I'm thinking this is all too much for me. Okay, so create the awareness of your thought patterns and identify, am I blaming or am I becoming aware of me and what I am doing and what I have choice of over here? You can then ask yourself, what am I feeling then? As a result of the action that I'm in, as a result of the thought pattern that I have, what am I feeling right in this moment?